Now, thanks to 90 Mile Wines and Anytime Fitness Glenelg, it's Chewing the Fat with Bevan Jones.
Well, g'day and welcome to another edition of Chewing the Fat, and the 2019 Sanford Premiers from last weekend, of course, are the Bays. And who better to talk about it than the man who started in the grand final? He kicked 3 sausage rolls. He played only the 10 games this year because of a tragic broken arm, which we'll talk about in a moment. Josh Scott, great to have you on Chewing the Fat, mate.
Thanks for having me, David.
Absolute pleasure. Now, talk to us through the game, mate. You know, obviously going in as underdogs with the Maggies winning by 4 points a couple of weeks earlier.
Yeah.
How did you guys do it, and what a feeling it must have been for you?
Yeah, it was an unreal feeling. Even though we lost the first final, we're still really confident because we didn't play anywhere near our best that first final, but yet we still was so close and only a kick away. So we're still pretty confident, and that extra game under our belt in Adelaide Oval, just getting that experience out there. We're really confident going in, and yeah, you wouldn't know we're underdogs really. Like the boys, the feeling around the group was just excitement, and just knowing we could do it if we played our best. So and yeah, it worked out that way in the day.
And playing in front of such a massive crowd, 39,000 as well, and getting the job done, what an amazing feeling it must have been for you and the boys.
Oh, definitely. It's like all the support we've got, just like on Facebook and messages during the week from the supporters. You don't understand like how much it means to them until it's actually happened. So like, yeah, it's been unreal. So the boys are stoked and looking to do it again next year now.
And the after-match celebrations, got to talk about who the best on ground was. I've heard that you like mind a few beers as well, Joshy, but who are some of the other boys that got around it as well?
I have a few every now and then. Michael Verge right up there, so his first year at the club, coming out with the premiership, so he celebrated pretty hard. Liam McBean had a great year, so he topped that off field as well. But all together it was really good because majority of the boys stuck together for the few days after. So yeah, it was just good to spend some time together and relax and have a few beers, which is good.
And obviously such a surreal feeling as well.
Oh yeah, it's I said to my parents, I said, hasn't sunk in yet, but it's like saying you're a premiership player. So, but the celebrations after, just the people we had around the club, like it made it feel surreal pretty much, just because of the feeling that was going around.
And some pretty amazing story yourself as well, we spoke about just a moment ago. Round 3 you broke your arm in that draw with South Adelaide, then you had another setback with your arm during the season. Did you feel as though you might struggle to make the grand final this year, and you know, it must be such an amazing feeling you actually got to play in the grand final and win it as well? Yeah,
definitely. So yeah, completely snapped my radius in my right forearm round 3, and then so I had surgery. I put a 12 centimetre plate and about 8 screws, I think it was, in my arm. That was giving me about a 10-week period to a recovery period, and then finally got back. Still a bit of pain, but felt okay. Played 3 games, and then against Central Districts here, actually, someone landed. Pretty much the exact same incident happened again, and it felt a bit weird. Woke up, thought I'd done it again, got an x-ray, nothing showed up. A few weeks later, still in pain, got another x-ray, and there's actually 2 separate breaks up my arm, on the same arm obviously, and yeah, they said that the earliest return date would be the grand final, and obviously I'm a realist. If you miss that much time, you're not going to bring in a player that hasn't played for that long for the granny. So for that next few weeks, I spoke to Stoney and the club, sort of weighing up, do I get everything sorted and get it ready for next year, or do I try and give it a big crack and hope it heals quicker? And we all sort of agreed that I'd give it a big crack, and yeah, it ended up working out that I could get it to. I got my arm to 70%, and that guard took a few weeks off as well, and got back for the last round, which was unreal. And yeah, the rest happened.
Rest is history.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I got so there were actually 2 screws through the nerve as well, which I'll get that sorted. But yeah.
Hey, it's all worthwhile when you
Yeah.
got a premiership day in early.
Nah, exactly.
Now let's talk about your season as well, because the Bays last year just missed out in the finals. You know, and you won those last 6 in a row the season before, so you're heading in some pretty good form, which you've taken into this season, of course, as well. But what was the big turnaround?
Obviously, when Matt Loken left Christmas time, the pre-season before last. So Mark comes in around that time. It was always going to take us a bit to get going. Like, he had his game style he wanted us to play, and he had his mind set on that. Knew it wasn't going to be a quick fix. So he just hammered that into us, and obviously we were getting used to that. The first few rounds took a while, but when it sort of clicked and we got the confidence in Mark and in the way we were playing, it was sort of, once we got that feeling, it was all go ahead from there. So we knocked off a few of the good sides that last 6 games, and going into pre-season, the boys, energetic and just excited, knowing that we could have a genuine crack, and it's worked out this way. So it's all happened really quickly, to be honest. Like, obviously it was the big picture, but Mark's done an unreal job, and the whole club has.
And yourself personally, you're from Lakes Entrance originally, and you mentioned before your dad's a Kiwi as well.
Yeah.
Mate, how'd you end up at the Bays?
So I played in the TAC Cup for Gippsland Power. Played there for 3 years, and then missed out in the draft, and Nick Stevens was my coach back there, and he got the job at Glenelg and said if it doesn't work out in the draft, come over with me. And I was obviously missed out in the draft. I was flat, and he goes, "We'll fly over, have a look around." I said, "Nah, mate, I'm coming over. I'll just wing it, start fresh." Moved over, and then I think this is my 6th or 7th year. I think it was my 6th season, so I'm loving it here. So set in Adelaide, me and my partner Lily, so we've got a house and a couple of dogs, and going well.
Any ambitions of playing AFL footy again?
It's every footballer's dream, but obviously I'm 25 now, and I've had my gap. I had my time where I probably had my chance, but you always try to play the best footy you can. But I'm happy here, and if it happens, it happens. But I'm loving playing footy at Glenelg.
Well, there's a guy by the name of Marlon Pickett who was 27 on Saturday. He played the grand final for the Tigers, so hey, there's hope for you still yet, Joshy.
Won't read about that happening too often, we are. But
unreal story that one, wasn't it? Now, let's talk about some of the boys around the club. Who do you feel as though is your funniest teammate, and why?
Funniest, probably Darcy Bailey. Darcy Bailey, Michael Verge, but Bailey just, I reckon.
And why is that?
Oh, he just some of the stuff that comes out of his mouth, you just don't expect it, and it's just, you're always laughing when you're around him. He's great to have around the change rooms. Like, any moment no matter what other feeling is around the rooms, he's always got something funny to say. Him and Verge, I reckon. And
the biggest pest around the club, who would that be?
Biggest pest? I've said his name a couple times, but Michael Verge. he's that much of a pest. That's why he's funny. And Ben Sawford as well.
Yeah. Now, Maxi Prouds, I spoke to a few weeks ago, and he's a pretty damn good defender. You spent a fair bit of time, I can imagine, playing on him at training. Did he give you a few ear massages like the old Danny Frawley used to do?
I'm pretty lucky, actually. The last thing Mark says when we go out defenders on forwards, he says is, defenders just hold back a bit, we don't want to get any injuries. So the last thing I remind Max when we're going out is, remember, he just said just hold back a bit, you don't have to come around. So he's a good defender, and there's always good battles between our forwards and our backs. Obviously we've got 3 decent forwards, and we've got I think the best defenders in the comp in our back line. So it's always good when it comes to match sim. It's good good challenge.
Well, you're definitely right about that. The defence was superb in the grand final with Crowdy, Curran and Ubergang as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And another one as well, which I always love hearing about, is the practical jokes. So, do you get around any of those sort of things, Josh? Or?
I get around them, but I usually get in trouble, so I've sort of laid off that now. But in the past, there's been a lot, but this year's actually, there's boys have pretty switched on this year, and it's sort of started to die down a bit. So yeah, it's not heaps going around, but there's always someone doing something cheeky.
And who's the biggest rat bag for that, you reckon?
Tell you who's underrated when it comes to little things like that, and it's Will Gould, and he's probably going to not be here next season, but he's sneaky with stuff like that. He's not afraid to speak up and just do a few little things, so I reckon he'll fit in well in the AFL.
And you got to Darwin for your footy trip this year. Who's going to be the best on ground for that, you reckon, and why?
I'm favourite. I reckon Marlon Motlop, just in his hometown, he'll just sort of say, "Follow me, boys." I reckon. So I reckon Marlon take the reins, and just Liam and Michael Virgin, just hands down, just has to be about them all the time. Just have to be the big dogs. But no, it's good. It'll be good fun. So there's majority of the squad going actually. So yeah, it'll be a good way to celebrate the flag.
Look out, Darwin.
Yeah.
What a trip that's going to be. Hey, Josh Scott, congratulations again on the flag, mate. It's been a pleasure chatting to you on Chewing the Fat, and we look forward to speaking again in the future.
No, thanks for having me. Cheers.
Thanks so much.